Okay, so in our last class, we we wrote these smart contracts. Okay, we call it simple storage. So last class we tried to create a contract to deploy this contract. All right. So we did this contract. Okay, created this contract, and so that was it. And some of us had issues with this contract. Okay, and if you have gone if you have gone to through this video, if you have gone through the contract before and then you had issues, can I see your hand up? If you went through it and then you had issues, let me see your hand up. I've answered this question before in case of people that are here when I asked it. We are not here when I asked it. If you went through this video, this contract, let me see your hand up, and you were confused or you understood, let me see your hand up. Okay, Chidera. Okay. All right, so just one person raised. So the rest of us saw it as difficult and we just left it like that. Mm, it's not nice at all. Okay, so let's go through it again. Let's go through it again. So let's go through it again so that we'll see what we've done so far. All right, so we said that we created we imported our simple storage, this one. Okay, if you look at this simple storage very well, if you look at this simple storage very well, you will see that we have one, two, three, four functions. Okay, and what we did here, what we called here was the store function and the retrieve function. Okay, so remember that this store function was using this my favorite number. Okay, so we stored the number in my favorite number and then we retrieved the number that we stored. Okay, so we come here and then we deployed our contract. We came here and we imported our contract. All right. Okay. Imported. Okay, let's say importing uh okay. So here we imported our simple storage contract. What is this one doing? Okay. So we imported our smart contract, our simple storage smart contract from the simple storage.so. All right. Okay. And then we created our storage factory. Now we used our simple storage with our contract as a as a type here. All right. And then we created an array. Okay. So this is um an array of simple storage contracts. All right, so we created an array of simple storage contract, and then we wrote a function to deploy this contract. Now, what keyword did we use in deploying this contract? So we used this keyword new. So new tells Solidity that we are deploying um, a contract. We use this new keyword to deploy a contract. Okay. So now what happened is that here we said this type is of, we created a new variable here, a new variable name here, and then we'll call it my new storage contracts, and then we made it of simple storage type, and then we deployed our contracts into this. Okay. Now this simple storage, this bracket here, when you say simple, okay, look at it here. This simple storage, when you say this bracket here, is like simple storage and the contract. This bracket talks about the contract inside, like when you write these colibris here like this now. Okay, everything I've highlighted now is inside this storage factory contract. All right, so we are saying that okay, this um simple storage has things inside. It's a contract. Okay, and so we are we are calling this contract. All right, we are deploying this contract. Okay, we are deploying this contract into this guy. All right, we are deploying this contract to this guy, and then we are pushing this new simple storage that we have deployed our contract into our array. All right. Okay, so we are deploying here. We are deploying um simple storage contracts into new simple. Let me bring it here. Okay, let me bring it up. Sorry. Okay, so we are deploying simple storage contracts into new simple storage contracts, and pushing it into the array we created. So what happened here is that this first line of code is to deploy the contract and then push it here. And then after deploying the contract here, we now push this new simple storage contract into our array, this array here, list of simple storage contracts. Okay, we know how to create arrays, understand? So how you push into array is the name of your array dot push in bracket what you are pushing inside. It's that simple. So after that, this function now can now deploy our contract. Now, if we don't deploy our contract, now what the deployment of our contract does is that it creates multiple instances of the original contract. Okay. It creates multiple instances of the original contract. All right. So whenever you deploy a contract, it creates an instance of this simple storage contract that we've created here. Okay. So um um so SF we now created a function to store number. Now this function to store number, we are using this function here, store. Okay. Hence, now let me explain something to us. Okay, we are storing this number. Okay, let me continue. So we'll see. Let me continue. All right. So we created a function fs store. That means storage factory store. Okay, this is a store function for our storage factory, which is going to be using the function in our main contract, simple storage. All right. So we are getting to inputs, which is um index and new simple storage number. All right. Now we now said that simple storage, which is our type, and we created a new variable here, which is um simple storage. Okay, we created a new this thing which is simple storage, and we said that this simple storage is going to be added to our lists, added to our contracts. Okay, our contract array. All right, and then also going to contain our index. Remember, we imputed our index here, so it's going to contain our index as well, so that when we put in the index, it's going to get us um it's going to get us our contracts. It's going to get us our new favorite number, our new storage number, our new simple storage number. All right, so now this is where the thing gets interesting. Probably this place store. Now, some of us will wonder if this store is a special keyword in Solidity. Okay, and if this retrieve is a special keyword in Solidity, sorry. All right, let me explain it. This store is not any special um um keyword in Solidity. It's just that we are calling this call function here store. And if you notice that this store has one input variable, understand, one input data. All right. And that's why this particular store is having one input data. So if I come here and want to add index to it, it's going to flag me error. It's going to say that it's expecting one, but I'm getting more than one. It's getting more than one, but it's expecting one. So whatever input is here, whatever number of input that is here is going to be the number of inputs that we're going to be inputting here. Okay, as long we are calling store, we are calling the store function. Okay, so here we are saying that this guy that we have created here does this store. So we are using this store, we are using the instance of this store function here. Okay, that's why we are getting this one input. All right. Now, when we come here and say set function and then return this guy and dot retrieve, we are calling this function retrieve. It's actually the function name that we are calling. So we are saying that this is the function we are calling and it's going to be having that characteristics. The same way that this guy works here, that's how this retrieve will work here. The same way that this store work here, that's how the store is going to work here. So if you, while you are working on your on your second contract, you're trying to deploy this contract, trying to manipulate it, always remember that you can't do something that this guy does not agree with. Okay, so let's assume that we are writing for this guy, for this art people. All right, if we are writing for this art people, definitely our simple story dot add people is going to have three parameters, three inputs. Okay, you're going to have three inputs. All right. So I would have wanted us to do an example on that, but we've not even understood this one yet. How much more to be um this one is a little bit just it's still the same thing. It just since you're working with struct, you when you are returning it, you have to do it's not going to be like this. You have to make it um it's going to be a little bit different, but this code is still the same thing, still the same pattern. But your returning it's going to be a little different. So you could add the address keyword, okay, so that your people will be mapped to the contract addresses, the address that initiates the contract, so that you can track it very well. Okay, so that's for that. But on this one, we we are using the functions as it's being used here in the simple storage. Now that's one. The secondly, you guys to understand that when you are writing your smart contracts, your version should be in sync. That means they should synchronize. If I'm using version 0.8.17 here, I should use 0.8.17 here. Two versions of the contract I'm writing should be the same. Else, there's going to be error. Stand, it's not going to work. It's going to be an error. It's not going to work. But for it to work, you have to they have to be in sync. All right. Also, you have to know that there are different coming. All right, you have to know that there are different licensing and this thing. Okay, let's say for example we have this is it GPL? I think something like this. I think something like this. If I'm correct. Am I correct? Okay, I think. Yeah, it's another license, GPL 30.0. All right, this is another license, and okay, this is another license. We have different licenses. We have um 3.0. We have MIT. You can even put on licensed here. All right, so the difference is that you can co-use different um licenses. Now, the reason why I'm saying is because some of us can go and explore and see, oh, there's this license, but why we're not using it? Yeah, telling us now. So we have the GPL 3.0 license, and we have the MIT license. Okay, so one is open source, one is more open source, the other one is more restrictive. Okay, so the the JPL 3.0 is more restrictive than the MIT, but the MIT is um, more open source than if you don't have to understand it right now. So while we go on with this course, while in your course of your development, you got to understand it. Nevertheless, this red line that is here, ignore it. It's a very nonchalant red line. Ignore it. It doesn't show anything here. Okay, so that's it for um deploying a contract with another contract and then deploying different instances of a contract. So before I go on, any question, anywhere we don't understand, anywhere it's confusing us. Can I get a question? Hmm? Can I get a question? Okay, like we don't have a question. All right, beautiful. So right now, let's assume that we want to change something from our contracts. All right, want to um want to change something from our mother contract. Let me call it mother contract. Okay, want to change something from our mother contract. So how do we do it? Okay, let's use our store. Let's say we want to add 10 to every every number we add. So when we store number, we'll add 10 to it. The outcome will be plus 10. All right. Whenever we add a number, okay, whenever we store a number, the outcome is going to be plus 10. So how do we do it without touching our main contract? All right. How do we do it without touching our main contract? All right. We want to write another contract that is going to do that for us in this contract. And it's very, very simple. Very, very simple. Very, very, very simple. All right. So let's create a contract. Let's call it add 10.
So is this the inheritance you said you were going to choose?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, because I want to upload the sheet now, so at
So
least before tomorrow morning they will upload the video.
okay, so let's say we're gonna call it add 10. Okay, add 10 and simple storage. Our name is very long. Let's call it add simple storage. We could add 10, we could add anything. All right, so what happened? Why is my Excel disappeared? Let's see. All right, so let's put our Okay, so create a contract and we're going to call it add all right. First of all, we still want our simple storage contract around. So definitely we are going to be importing our simple storage. So how about first remember how to import? Okay, how many of us remember how to import? So if you remember, just tell me how I should import this one.
Which one are we importing?
We're importing simple storage.
Okay, I think import in brackets from simple storage, or import simple storage from simple storage dot so.
Okay, import, yes,
In bracket simple storage.
this bracket,
Not that bracket.
this one.
Maybe.
Okay, uh-huh, simple storage. All right, and
From
from
simple
eh,
storage dot so.
Nvanu, that's
No,
simple
slash
storage.
slash slash dot slash, sorry.
Okay, dot slash.
Simple storage dot.
All right. Okay, so now having done this, okay, we've imported our contract. So we can now say that this contract is simple storage. Abi,
Yes.
we can say that this contract is simple storage. If we deploy this, okay, now we see that we can deploy it. If we come here and deploy it, you see that our contract has all the buttons that simple storage has.
So this thing is it just like how constructors are inherited?
It's the
Because
same way we
that's
exactly the same way we inherited constructor. Remember I told you now that I've done inheritance before, but we didn't teach it. I just mentioned it and we just used it when we were using constructors. Remember that the contract when we were doing constructors, the contract was in one place. The two contracts we were using was in one place, so we did not import anything. All right. So if I remove this imports, if I remove this import and I say contract is simple storage, the this Solidity will be confused and don't know what to do because it doesn't know where the simple storage is coming from. Where when you say simple storage, add simple storage is simple storage. Solidity will be like simple storage. Who are you? Understand? Okay, so we have to import the contract and then we'll now say that this contract is this contract. And so once we say that this contract is this contract, our add simple storage automatically inherits every attribute of simple storage contract. So let's say, for example, now we write a function. Let's call this function, say, hi. Okay, let's call the function greeting. All right. Okay, and so we'll say Okay, public pure. Let's say pure returns string memory, and then we say okay. So we'll create this contract, all right, and then we deploy. You see that we have every button here that that the simple storage contract has, including our new function greeting. So you see that when I click on greeting, you see hello. So definitely we have inherited everything from our simple storage, and now we cannot add to our simple storage. Okay, all together. So you see that this code is not long. This code is very short, but it's doing everything that our simple storage is doing, because we said that we are inheriting the properties of our simple storage in our add simple storage, in our RCS, in our add simple storage contracts. Now, let's write a function to so that when we come to this store, or we store a number, let's say we'll store 20 here, okay, and we retrieve 20. It's going to be 20 plus 10, which is 30, yeah? Okay, so when we store 50, we're going to add the number to it. So let's do, how do we go about it? How do we change this thing? Let's say, okay, let's write a function to do that. Okay, so let's write a function. So we're going to call this function store now. Okay, since we are inheriting this guy, we're going to be overriding that store we have in the contract. So that this our store now will be doing what that store is doing. Okay. Okay, let's call this one new number. Okay. So this guy is going to be public. Then I'm going to be saying now we're going to be saying my favorite number. Now remember this guy, my favorite number, this guy that we have here. Since we have inherited this guy here, that means we can actually call my favorite number. Let me push this guy to the side. So since we are using this simple storage, that means we can actually call this guy my favorite number. So we can come here and say my, let me copy it. Don't want to make mistakes. Okay. How did I copy? Okay, we're going to say my favorite number is equal to this new number. All right, so that's it. And then we'll deploy it. Solidity is going to say, whoa, 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 wait. You are missing something, okay? So the error message that Solidity gave to us is, okay, let's read our error message. Okay. It said, overriding a function is missing override specifier. Okay. It's saying that okay, we are missing something. We are trying to override a function without the override keyword. All right, so they are telling us overriding a function is missing override. All right, so this function is trying to override this function store, this guy store. All right, we are we are trying to override this function so that we can manipulate this function. All right. Oh, sorry. We're supposed to add number to it. Let's say we add plus 10. Okay. So we're going to say that, oh, this guy is you are overriding a function and you are missing the override specifier. That means, yeah, we are going to be putting our override. All right. I'm going to put in our override and or control X. We're still going to be having error. Understand? We're still going to be having error. Okay. If we are going to be overriding this function, that means this we are trying to override a function that is not overridable. So we cannot override this function even if we added the override keyword here. Okay, so how do we override this function? All right, is by adding visual keyword here. Okay, so we add the visual keyword here, we can override it. Am I spelling my override correct? Okay, English language is still part of programming. All right, so okay, so we just override our function store. Okay, so we see that we could not override this store function because we're not having visual. All right, so any function that has visual, that means that function can be override. So that means you can override that function outside the contract altogether. So if I deploy this guy and come here and redeploy, you see that if I store 20 and I retrieve it, I'm going to get 30. All right. If I store 30 here, I'm going to get 40. If I store 2 here, I'm going to get 12. Why? Because in every number I stored, I said that 10 is going to be added to it. Are we together? Are we together? So in this simple line of code, we have been able to inherit our contract. We've been able to um, override a function in our contract and then modify it. So that's how to using the override and the visual to override and create an overridable function and then override it in another contract and then make use of it. And then it's still going to, you see that in these our buttons, nothing has changed. Okay. In these our buttons, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. All right. The same thing, the same button we have in our um add store simple storage. That's the same buttons we are going to have in our add storage. Okay. So if you look at this guy, let's say we deploy we come and then we deploy. Now we are deploying. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's deploy simple storage. So we deploy simple storage. Let me delete this guy. Now you see that these two these two contracts, they are the same, but they are different contracts. This add simple storage and this is simple storage. Different. If I still come here and put 10 and retrieve it, I'll still get 10 here in this contract. But this contract is giving me something else. If I put 10 here, okay, and retrieve it, I get 20. She get. So this contract is still valid, but I'm using this contract to edit this contract. Okay, I'm using this contract to get another version of this contract and then use it. You get. So this is how to use inheritance in your contracts. This is how to use inheritance in your contracts. So let's say, for example, you are you are inheriting a contract from a GitHub repo. You are inheriting a, let's say, um a open zipling contract, okay, and then you can open that contract, you can inherit that contract and use it in your contract the way you want it to be used in your contract, and it's going to work like that in your contract the same way this simple storage is working for us in our contract the way we want it to work in our contract. Okay, but the only way you can override a function is if the function have visual. So you cannot override a function that does not has that is not visual. Okay, you can't override a function that is not visual. So if I add visual to this guy, that means I can override it in my contract here. Altogether, altogether. So go back to your constructor class, and you will now understand how and why I inherited the contract. Okay, how I inherited the contract in the constructor. It's not difficult. The keyword, the new keywords that we've learned so far is is from uh, is from is new, override, and visual. Is it visual or virtual? All right, so these are the three keywords we've learned so far. We've said that is a keyword for inheriting contracts. Okay, the keyword for inheriting contracts. New is a keyword for deploying contracts. Override is a keyword for overriding functions inherited from another contract. While visual is a keyword for making the function overridable. Okay, making the function overridable. So that is that for visual, that's that for override, that's that for is, and that's that for new. These are the two keywords, four keywords we have used so far. Okay, we've not used any of these one before, so these are the ones we always used is once. Okay, and the others are new. These are the new keywords that we've used so far. So for that, any question? Any question? All right, so successfully we have created our contracts. Okay, I want to show us something very interesting. All right, before I forget, just imagine like we want to deploy our contract with our test net. Okay, we want to deploy our contract. We don't want to use our inbuilt contract. We want to deploy our contract directly to our MetaMask. Okay, we want to use real money. We want to use real money to deploy our contract. Okay, so We'll come to this injected provider MetaMask. So if I use my MetaMask now, you see that my MetaMask has shown up. I don't know if I still remember my password. I don't still remember my password. Away. Oh, thank God. All right. So how many of us can see my screen? Now let me change it so that we can see everything that's happening under the hood. All right. So
So what I'm seeing is your, what's it called
yes,
now?
yes, 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 yes. I know. I don't know. I can't share my whole screen. I can only share. Okay, let me share my. Okay, so I believe you can see my screen. All right, so I just turned on my um okay, so I'll come to my MetaMask. So I'm deploying my contract using this account. Okay, so I'm going to click next and confirm. So I've connected my MetaMask to my Remis. All right, so let me deploy this contract. So if I deploy this contract, you see that I'm going to send the transaction. All right, so I'm going to be using my testnet. Now they're telling me that I don't have enough Sepolia tests to run this contract. I have the gas fee for this Jesus. The gas fee for this guy is 0.11 whatever as my gas fee. Okay. So you don't have enough Sepolia earth for this stuff. So if I have enough Sepolia, I'll just click confirm and I'll confirm this transaction and my store footprint will deploy. All right. And if I'm running a core function, I don't have to sign any transaction. But if I'm deploying the contract, I have to pay. So these are I connect my wallet. These are I connect my wallet or to my remis.io and then remis.id, sorry, and then deploy my contract using um my wallet. All right. So that's it. Okay, so I'm going to be adding, but this is how we deploy our smart contract using our MetaMask, and this is how we inject our smart contracts using our MetaMask. Okay. All right. So we just go back to our normal um inbuilt deploy again and okay. So we see that we deployed our contract. All right. So any question before I give us something for the weekend? Any question? Any question? Do we understand? Do we understand?
Sir, come again.
Be quiet. Is that what?
I said come again. I didn't hear what you said.
Do we all understand what we've been saying so far? Do we understand?
Yes.
If we really understand, so let's create our own simple storage. Let's create our let's, let's create our own storage factory. Okay, and then let's create our own simple storage. Our add simple storage control. Create a storage contract to store and retrieve. As simple as that. And let's to create the contract, deploy the storage contracts. All right. And number three, creates a another contract, call it multiply storage. Okay, and multiply every stored number by 2. The overriding, okay, let me write the overriding function in the multiply storage can only store above 5. All right. So what I have done so far is what you are going to do. But the only thing you are going to be adding is that this 5. So the number you are storing should be multiplied by 2, but the number you are storing should be above 5. So whenever the um number you are storing is below 5, it should say that number should be above 5. Okay, number should be above 5. But that is it. That's it. But we should be able to create this one without stress. This one is very simple. We should be able to create this one without stress as well. This one is very simple. The simplest of them is this number 3. Very, very, very simple. So what I've done here is the same thing. What I did here is the same thing you are going to do here in this number 2. And then what I did here is the same thing. What I did here is the same thing you're going to do here in number 3. The adding this guy to the contract, these requirements to the contract, and that's it. And then you're good to go. Any question? So if you can do this assignment on your first full-time contract, you created your first real-time contract Solidity. So this weekend, you're going to go on social media, you're going to go on Twitter, Facebook, and say that you're going to tag TFM and say that, okay, I deployed contracts with another contract. I just learned how to deploy a contract using another contract, and also multiplying a contract using and modifying a contract. using another contrast. Okay, so you tag TFM and you tell them this is what I planned this week. Okay, so next week we are going to be doing something more realistic. Okay, something more realistic. All right, so these projects we are doing, they are mini insignificant projects that have real world functionalities that you can apply to real world contracts. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, at the end of the day, you will realize that you're a developer even before you know it. I want you to just bear with me, just follow me, just learn, go back to what we've learned, and be diligent with it. And not going to be difficult. If you could do this assignment, I just write here. That means you've done a whole lot. You've done a whole lot. None of your friends are your mates. You cannot do things that none of them can do. All right, so I will copy this one now, paste it here so that Chidera, you copy it, you paste it on the okay. Let me copy it here. Okay, that's the assignment. All right. I can't access my WhatsApp, my Telegram right now. So you copy it. Yes, yes. I can see your hand. What's that? Let me hear you. Who is raising hand?
No, that was a mistake, and it's not even. No, don't worry, that was a mistake. But this stuff you pasted is not copying. Oh.
Is not copying.
It's not copying from this, except I'll screenshot it and type it. I'll paste it on. I'll send it as a screenshot so they'll see it like that.
You will copy it too.
Sir,
You will copy it too.
I'll post a screenshot now. It will show the assignment to show now.
Okay, no wahala. Anyhow you want to do it. Anyhow you want to do it. But just know that that's it for the weekend. Okay, so um so that's it. Just attempt it. Any challenge, please do it fast. Okay, any challenge, you get back to me. Okay.